Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video here, man. Just some unfortunate news for a couple of fighters. Well, one specific fighter here because she's kind of getting more so the raw end of the deal. But as you know, Duda Santana, she recently tested positive for out of competition testing with USADA. She had tested positive for a banned substance, and she's been suspended from MMA for 2 years. And also she has been released from her UFC contract. And that was just something I just kind of wanted to talk about real quick because I was just looking at the article myself a couple of days ago, but I was just getting around to talk about it because there's a couple things I want to talk about here because there was another fighter who had also popped around the same time. Her name was Laura Procopio, and she was also tested by USADA around the same time. I think hers was like February 17th, and she only received a 6-month suspension, and she is still lined up to have a fight scheduled with the UFC. So yeah, man, just going back real quick here, looking at the article, man, like said here, Duda Santana, she had tested positive for a androgen receptor modulator, and this was around, let me see, the test was conducted on February 11th, and Santana was served a 2-year suspension. The UFC and USADA did not immediately respond for comment, but USADA, as a matter of policy, doesn't reveal suspensions until cases are resolved. And her manager, Alex Davis, he had said that Santana's very poor, ended up buying supplements from unreliable sources, resulting in another case of contaminated supplements, which that's something I heard of before. I've heard of that in the past. I've known some fighters that have gotten supplements on like the black market, which is dangerous because some of that stuff is contaminated, as you see. But in her case, I kind of understand why she was trying to get them from certain places because, Duda Santana, let's be honest, she hasn't fought since last year. She's only fought once in the UFC, and you haven't really seen her fight since then. So life for these fighters is hard. They don't get a lot of money. A lot of these fighters are on a fight to fight basis, and when they get one fight, it's just like a regular paycheck. They run through it, and then they have to get income somewhere else, and sometimes the UFC's not getting them fights like they should be, so they're inactive for a while. So where does the income, where do they get the money for trainers, food, supplements, as you can see? So she probably did reach out and get these supplements like she did, and I'm not saying it was right that she did that, but that has to be something that's they should try to understand sometimes. And yeah, now she's suspended for 2 years, whereas like I said, Laura Procopio, she also tested, let me see, she tested positive for a different substance, it said, but something similar. Let me see, Osterin, it's a banned substance as well. It's a androgen receptor modulator as well, and that's something that's illegal for all athletes. But she tested positive for that, but she's getting just a 6-month suspension, which I think was kind of crazy. I thought they should follow through. Anytime somebody gets popped, they should all follow through, with a full 2-year ban, or in some cases, a year for some of these fighters. I think it's just be down the line for some of these fighters where you have to kind of look at their scenarios. Again, like I said, Laura Procopio, they didn't put hers out there the same way, defend her the same way, but she's only getting a 6-month ban, and she has a fight lined up. Whereas Duda Santana didn't have a fight lined up, and is struggling according to her manager. She's struggling, and to make matters worse, you're gonna ban her for 2 years. I think they should find some kind of line for some of these fighters, especially when you look at their situation. Again, when you have a poor fighter, maybe a year or 8 months is something they should do. And on top of that, maybe they should fine her. Maybe they should fine her, like, if you fight for a year, we're going to continue to take maybe 25% of your purse. I think that would be more so fair for 8 or 9 months. But suspending her for 2 years, that's really not going to help her financial situation, And like I say, that's something fighters, they have to look out for. Certain fighters have to look out for when you have a certain look. She is a black Brazilian fighter, woman. That does come into play. If you have a certain look, that the UFC is not really appealing to, they know that fans aren't going to appeal to, they are going to set an example out of you. You know, whereas Laura Procopio, she's not a black fighter, so they're going to say, okay, maybe we can make more money off her, so we can shorten her ban, you know. So that's just being real. You know, we just got to look at it straight up, because if you look at other fighters like Conor McGregor, Tyson Fury, Canelo, they may receive just what, a 6-month or 8-month ban and maybe a cut of a purse, but then they get right back to it. Whereas Duda Santana, somebody who's already poor, according to her manager, is going to be cut for 2 years from MMA altogether, and then she loses her UFC contract. You know, Amanda Lemos, she didn't even lose hers. You know, Amanda Lemos, she had got popped back in 2017, and she made her return at the end of last year. In the last year, 2019, and pretty much still had her contract. You know, she's a Brazilian fighter as well, but she's a non-black Brazilian fighter too. So, you know, you kind of got to look at these different things where they're saying, okay, well, we got to look at what our market is. So we got to look at what we got to really look at we're looking at the look of the fighter as well, you know. So all that stuff comes into play, whether people want to admit it or not. I mean, because yeah, right here you have two examples. Both fighters got popped. One only got a 6-month suspension with the fight lined up, and the other fighter has a 2-year ban, you know. And then Amanda Lemos, again, 2-year ban, but back in the UFC. So yeah, I kind of feel for Duda Santana in this situation, especially, you know, knowing that, you know, you got to kind of wonder, man, like, hey, she came into this poor, only had one fight. So where is the money going to come from? I mean, yeah, you probably do have to start looking at other hustles and, you know, getting another job at the same time, you know, working at a gym maybe. But yeah, I just kind of feel bad for her with that 2-year suspension. But yeah, man, when you are a certain type of fighter, you have a certain type of look, you just have to kind of go ahead and say, I got to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's, especially if you're going to be in this type of fight game / entertainment business, you know. But yeah, that's all I got on this, guys. I just kind of wanted to talk about that real quick, because I feel like that is a rough suspension for Duda Santana, again, because, you know, because of her financial situation too. And, you know, some of these fighters, I really feel like they don't go into some of these situations and actually are trying to, you know, take PEDs on purpose. You know, I think they are kind of set up sometimes, especially when you are getting them on the black market. You know, you are kind of getting what you pay for, you know. But yeah, that's all I got on this, guys. It's just something I wanted to talk about real quick. When I have some time, I was just, you know, wanted to go back and speak on this one, because I was looking at this situation with her, Amanda Lemos, and Procopio, and it just kind of made me think, like, why, you know, why is this only special treatment for some fighters? But yeah, that's all I got on this, guys. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think about Duda Santana, her 2-year ban. Do you think she deserves a 2-year ban? And if she does, do you feel like Laura Procopio also deserves the same thing? Should she suffer the same punishment as well? And do you think that they shouldn't have cut her UFC contract? Do you think she'll bring her back after 2 years? But yeah, man, that's all I got, guys. Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Peace.